Hey, good morning, everyone. This Shades here. Today is Monday, the 6th of April, and this is my final loadout for my 2026 Pacific Crest Trail hike, which I'll be traveling to San Diego tomorrow, staying at the Cleef tomorrow night, and then starting my 2026 Pacific Crest Trail Nobo hike starting on Wednesday, the 8th of April. So I'm going to go through each one of these items. I'll break everything out. On the left-hand side of the table, I've got all of my base weight stuff. And then on the right-hand side of the table is more, and I'll break it out closer, the food and medicine and stuff like that I'm bringing. That'll be the kind of the consumables. So my goal, as I was getting ready for the hike, my goal was to be in that, to be less than 20 pounds for my base weight, as close to 18 as I could, based on some medical stuff that I'm bringing as well. But let's see how I did. I'll load up my base weight and I'll weigh that, and then I'll weigh up my pack after I add in my food and everything like that. So I'll go through each one of those items. So the first item is my pack, and I've done a couple videos on this. This is the Durston Kakwa 55 liter backpack. This is the sage green color, but it's the brand new 2026 version. This is the Durston Kakwa 55 pack. Like this pack a lot so far. I've got a video out there on it to take a look at that and get more information on that as far as weight and dimensions. Next item is going to be my shelter. I'm bringing the Durston X Mid 2 solid shelter. I just did a video of setting this up, so I shared that. So take a look at that if you want any more information as far as the specifics of it. It also came with stakes. I've got 4 large stakes which stake out the corners, and then 4 smaller stakes that stake out the vestibule and then some of the side areas. I've got an actual ground sheet. This is not a Durston ground sheet. It's a ground sheet from another tent that I have. So I'm bringing that. I'm also going to use this to actually be, when I'm taking a break, trying to sit in the shade or just trying to relax. This will be a good ground cloth area, or it even could make some shade if needed. So I'm bringing that. Then for my sleep system, I've got the Thermarest Neo Air. It also has a pillow. I've done a video on this, so check that out if you want to see that. And then for the quilt, this is the Enlighten Equipment quilt. This is a 15-degree quilt. There's a video out on my site on this quilt as well to talk about some of the particulars. One item that I wasn't sure I was going to bring, I had talked about not bringing a cook kit. This is a jet boil cook kit. I'll actually have to get a canister, an air canister, a fuel canister when I actually arrive. I'll probably pick one up from the green store when I arrive in the near the Cleef area. But I'm going to bring this, and I'll show you a couple meals that I'm going to bring with it. But clearly, when you're flying this out there on the plane, you can't have the canister. So no canister right now. So let me go into so those are the big 3. Those are the big main ones, with the exception of the jet boil. But now I'm going to go into some of the other stuff like the electronics, my water, my poop kit, my clothes. I'll go into that next. Next, I want to talk about the clothes that I'm going to be bringing. So some of these clothes I'll actually have on, so that won't count as my base weight because I'll physically have it on carrying it. It won't be in my pack. The base weight is the stuff that you're carrying in your pack. But just to go through what I'm bringing clothes-wise, so I've got the long sleeve hoodie that I'll be wearing probably the most of the time, and then I've got a pair of short pants. So I see myself wearing the long sun hoodie. It's got the built-in hand covers and everything like that. It's a Mountain Hardwear product. I like that. It's very comfortable. It's got built-in underwear, so I don't have to wear underwear with it. And then I've got a pair of long pants that have the removable zipper to where you can make them long or short pants. So I can see myself wearing that on some of the colder days. I got a pair of underwear for that. I've also got a short sleeve shirt and then a belt. I'm bringing 2 different pairs of Darn Tough socks and then 2 different pairs of the Indigi toe socks. I'm bringing 2 knee support and also an ankle just in case. So I'm kind of packing out my fears on my ankle. I've rolled my ankle a few times, so I'm bringing an ankle brace. And these are really just sleeves, not braces. And these are the 2 knee ones. I see myself wearing these mainly when I'm going downhill. This is kind of some risk avoidance of going downhill. And then I've got these two sleeves for the lower legs from the calf down to the ankle. I've got a problem where I start having some rash and areas like that on my legs, so I'll be wearing those. I've got a pair of cheap Walmart water shoes for some of the major water crossings. Instead of doing them in my shoes and instead of doing them barefoot, I've just got these water shoes. The hiking shoes that I'll be hiking in, these are the Topo athletic shoes. Like those, it's got a wide foot box. It's a good shoe. I like that. And then I've got the Gators. I'll be wearing I've got a bandana or a buff that I'll be wearing around my neck from time to time. And then I've got 2 different hats. I've got my Pacific Crest trail hat that I'll wear sometime. And then I've got this REI sun hoodie that I may wear depending on, the weather. And then I've got those shades that I'm bringing. And then I've got an eyeglass holder. Also in the clothes, I'm bringing a pair of Frog Tog pants. I know these rip up and tear pretty easy, but this is a brand new pair, never been used before, so I'll bring those, and if they rip up and tear, I'll get rid of them. I may not even need to wear these. It looks like it's been more hot temperatures than it's been cold and wet, but I've got those just in case. And then I've got an REI rain jacket that I like a lot. For the cold temperatures, I've got a lightweight pair of gloves, and then I've got a puffy. So I'll be bringing that. So that's all of my clothes. Now here again, not all of this counts as base weight. I'll go ahead and remove what I'm going to wear to the terminus and what I'm going to actually use, and then I'll put the rest of it in the bag and weigh that as part of my base weight. Okay, and then into my electronics, I've got these 2 wind-resistant noise reduction devices that I'll be using. They come with the actual dead cat piece that actually hooks onto the end of those. I got those on Amazon. If you got any questions, I can send you the information or put it in the link. I've got an Anchor fast charger, 2-port. I've got my iPod or my earbuds, and I've got some miscellaneous charging cables. I also have some little LED lights that I can actually put inside my tent or put on my bag, depending on what I need. And then I've got a couple twist ties. So that's all the gear. That's all the electronics. Other than my iPhone, I'll be carrying an iPhone 17 and doing all the recording on an iPhone 17. I also am bringing a small tripod to be able to actually do some videos. Next, I'll go through my actual poop kit. So I've got the little deuce of spades. I've got some hand wipes. I've got a black bag to be able to hand wipes in a black bag to be able to store my toilet paper. I've got toilet paper, and then everything goes in a bag. I've also got some hand sanitizer that'll be hanging on my bag for just to clean my hands. In the actual waist belt, I'll be carrying my Black Diamond night light, actual hiking lamp. I've got a pocket knife. I've got a bug net, a ball to kind of roll out my feet at the end of the day, and another carrier for my glasses. The next thing I want to talk about is it's been a really warm trail out there, and there's been a lot of issues right now with water and water supplies that are typically there but are dried up. So I want to talk about what I'm carrying water-wise and then what I've got the overall capacity for. So I'm going to carry 3 1-liter smart bottles of water, and then in my shoulder harness, in my shoulder pouch, I'll carry the one of the 3/4 liters of water. So I plan to keep this as a clean bottle, and then this is a 1-liter smart bladder. I plan to use this as my dirty bag. So as I'm making water, as I'm taking water from any source, it's going to go in here, and then I'm going to filter it with the Sawyer squeeze into these 3 containers that are going to be my clean water. And then what I'll do is I'm bringing a lot of electrolytes. What I plan to do is probably be kind of a 1-for-1 or maybe a 2-for-1 water electrolytes. I'll play with that on the trail, but I'll have the overall capacity to carry 4 3/4 liters of water at any given time. I've got a couple extra easy fill or easy drink tops, and then I've got a couple of these tubes that I made, and they'll go inside this water bottle, and then I'll be able to drink as I'm going. I showed a video on that earlier. So I've got one and then a spare. So for my water, and then also for the heat, I'm bringing this cooling towel, which I don't know if you guys have used these before. I haven't seen a lot of people use these on the trail, but this will automatically reduce, for me it does at least, it automatically reduces the temperature, by up to 10 degrees for me as I wet this down and then put it on my head or put it around my neck. I get a lot of relief from that. So this is what I'm bringing for water and how I'm going to kind of try to combat the heat that's out there. So bringing a lot of electrolytes. I'll be keeping these waters topped off the best I can as I go along. I've seen there's been a number of trail angels. Trail Angels has been leading water caches. That's great. And then here again, I've got the capacity. This is being my dirty water bladder. I got the capacity of carrying up to 4 3/4. I can add to that if I need to. Another part of my base weight is I'm bringing a foam padding, a foam mat. This can be used if I'm taking a break, and instead of laying in the dirt, if I'm taking a break, I can put my ground sheet down and kind of lay on this. So that's part of this. Also, I'm using this as my solar charger. So I've got a solar power charger here that I can hook into my phone or anything that I need charging. It's got built-in lights on it. It's got a couple features. I've got this Velcroed in place. So this is all going to be mounted at the top of my bag. And then here again, hopefully I'll get good solar power from it. It's a 25,000 amp battery. So that's all the base weight items loaded into my pack. As you can see on the outside, I've got my water shoes. I've got my water kit to be able to filter water, and I've got my poop kit in here, and I've got the actual ground cloth. So if I was to stop and take a break, everything I would need would be on the outside of the pack to be able to get, with the exception of food. So I'll carry some food in a fanny pack that I'll be carrying, and then I can carry some food in the actual hip pockets. But let's weigh this now and let's see how much this comes up to. But this is my base weight. So this doesn't include the water, the fuel canister, the food. So remember, water weighs about 2.2 pounds per liter. And then food, typically on food, you look at about 2 pounds a day. So this is my base weight loaded into the Kakwa 55-liter pack. All right, let's get a weight on what the base weight is of my pack. So remember, this is just the base weight. This is okay, so let's check out right now and see what the base weight is. So this is all of my my constant items that aren't going to change unless I actually get rid of them and remove them from the pack. But let's see what my base weight is. I'm hoping that it's going to be, you know, right around 18 pounds, maybe just a little bit over 18 pounds. Remember, this is not water or food. This is or not medicine or anything like that. And then any of the items that you're carrying on your person, like your clothes, and if you get a fanny pack, that's not part of your base weight. Okay, so I'm right around 18 pounds, 18.14, and that's what I was hoping for. So that I was hoping to be right in that 18-pound range for my base weight, so I think that's good. I was reading a couple articles on online and on the PCTA. The average weight for a Pacific Crest trail hiker that starts the trail is in that 14 to 18 pounds. So I'm right around that. I'm just a little bit over that average weight. I'm at 18, maybe at 18.2 pounds, but I think overall I'm pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm at the bare minimum. I haven't put any cold weather like layering stuff like that, but if I get cold, I can add to that. So I feel pretty good about this. Now I'm going to go ahead and go through the consumable stuff. I've got a good bit of consumable stuff. I'll talk about food and medicine and stuff like that. I want to weigh my my food bag here again. I know that I'm over the 3 pound or the 3-day food that I was originally planning. And remember, food weighs about a little bit over 2 pounds per day. So let's weigh this and see what we come up with. Okay, so I'm just at 6.5 pounds. So if it is 2 pounds per day, you know, I've got in that 3-day, you know, maybe a little bit more than 3 days of food. But here again, I don't think you can judge it by that weight as a beginning, because you really don't know if you're going to be eating at all. And then, you know, like I said before, I'm going to start off with breakfast at the Cleef. So I'm going to call this, you know, definitely good for you know 3 to 4 days, probably closer to 4 to 5 days. And if I need to, I can add on as I come through the first 2 areas before I do another resupply, but I can add on a little bit as I need to. All right, so I want to talk about my fanny pack. So I'm going to carry this organizer, this fanny pack. This is going to be with me at all times. I'll be hiking with this around my waist on the trail, and then in town I'll be carrying this around to stay organized as well. But I've already shown you before, I'm bringing a lot of electrolytes. This is the Element electrolytes. Really good. I really like the strawberry and the raspberry, the actual lemonade and the salt. I mean, they're all really good. So I'm carrying that. I'm carrying some change. There's a lot of places that will offer showers, and it'll cost between 50 and 75 cents, and you need to have change. So I've got a little bit there. I've got probably one of the most important things. I've got my hiking permit. I've got that in a sealed baggie. You're not allowed to actually seal these up and put them in some type of a tape or veneer. You've got to have them where they're accessible, and they've got to be signed. So I've got that. I've got a couple emergency information and a little change purse and stuff like that, where I'll carry some credit cards and some money. I've got some roll-on suntan lotion, body glide, and then some chap lipstick, and then a lens wipe. So all of this is going to be carried on my person daily, and then I've got some room to be able to add some snacks. So if I want to put, you know, a couple bars in here or something like that, I'll do that. So pretty easy. This is going to stay with me, keeps me organized, and I'll have everything and not have to go into my pack for any of this stuff. So these are just cheap items. This is something I picked up at a thrift store, so it worked out perfect. All right, so one of the items that's a consumable that doesn't count as my base weight are these wristbands that I had made that I'm going to be handing out to people as I meet them on the trail. Here again, on one side it says the Pacific Crest Trail, and it's got some art logo with hikers climbing and mountains and stuff like that. And then on the other side, it's got the American flag on either side. Remember, 2026 is our 250-year anniversary of independence. So from 1776 until 2026. So here again, I'll be handing these out. I've got over 100 of them on me. I'll be looking to hand these out pretty quick because that bag weighs about 2 pounds. So I wanted to make this kind of as a keepsake for myself and for others, and it's a kind of a nice thing to kind of share and have everybody enjoy it. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about is the food that I'm going to bring. So this is the food that I'm going to have packed out, and when I arrive down at the southern terminus at Campo, California. Originally, I was planning on bringing in that 3 to 4 day supply of food. So what I've got done is what I've set up is I've set up a bag that's double ziplocked for each day. So I'm more of a grazer than I am an eater when I'm hiking. So I like to kind of start off maybe with something I can actually have in my hand and walk with. So I've got some bars here, you know, that are something I can walk with in my hand and eat. I've got a Pop-Tart, and then as I stop for lunch, depending on how I feel, I've got these bumblebee tuna fish. I've got a couple different types. I've got the sun-dry, I've got the applewood, and then I've got jalapeno, and then I've got a couple extras. I've got a teriyaki, and then I've got a buffalo, and I'll be using the wraps. These are more of the kind of the street taco, smaller wraps, but I can use a couple of those. And then dinner, depending on how I'm feeling, I've got 3 of the pasta sides, the Knorrs. I've got a couple different types of those. I can either try to cook those in the bag, or I can cook those in my jet boil. And then another item that I've got to kind of walk with and chew is kind of these beef sticks. So as I look at this, I think I'm probably much closer to 5 days worth of food than the original 3 to 4. But I like having a little bit of an overlap just in case it's taking a little bit longer. I know you really don't know exactly how much you're going to want to eat. When I leave out of the Caliph, I'm going to have a breakfast already in my stomach. So, you know, maybe on Wednesday as I'm hiking, maybe I've got a couple of these in my fanny pack. And then if I sit down and feel like it, I could have more. But I like these. I like these cashew nuts. They're multiple different flavors that I've got. One's a Parmesan. One's kind of a chili, and then I've got another one that's kind of a garlic one. So I've got a couple different options there that I can be able to enjoy. I mean, those beef sticks. Here again, I was looking at things that I could get some easy, quick calories for. And I did not do any logistics boxes and send any food ahead. I plan to do all of my resupplies in and out of the towns that I go through. So I don't plan on shipping myself anything. I may, if need be, I may use a bounce box. You know, that's where you actually can get a box from the post office and actually send that ahead to you. So if you're in a town that's got good logistics supply, good grocery store, stuff like that, and then you're going into an area that may not, or one that may be very expensive, you can go ahead and bounce yourself a box ahead. And the nice thing is that when that box gets there, when you go to pick it up, if you don't open it, if you don't think you need it, you can bounce it ahead to the next section. So that's probably a tactic that I'll use with that bounce box. But this is the food I'm bringing. Here again, maybe it's probably closer to 5 days worth of food than it is 3. I was originally planning 3 to 4, and I think I've got some overkill, but that's good. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about is my medical kit. So I've got a couple other things in my medical kit, but I'm not trying to be a MASH unit or anything out there. I'm trying to stay as low as I can, but I've got a couple supplies here. I've got for blister relief, I've got some moleskin. I've got a repair kit. I've got Neosporin. I've got Benadryl, and I've got some Advil, some ibuprofen, and then I've also got some eye drops and stuff. I've got a small kit here with some water tablets and some Band-Aids and just some miscellaneous stuff there. I've got some earplugs. I've got tweezers and a comb, and then I've got my medical supplies that I won't go over, but I'm a type 2 diabetic, non-insulin dependent. So I've got a number of medicines that I'll have to take in the morning as I wake up, and then I'll have to monitor my sugar levels and take more in the afternoon and evening. So I've got that taken care of. So this is all on my medical stuff. I want to weigh my food bag. Here again, I know that I'm over the 3 pound or the 3 day food that I was originally planning. And remember, food weighs about a little bit over 2 pounds per day. So let's weigh this and see what we come up with. Okay, so I'm just at 6.5 pounds. So if it is 2 pounds per day, I've got in that 3 day, maybe a little bit more than 3 days of food. But here again, I don't think you can judge it by that weight as a beginning, because you really don't know if you're going to be eating at all. And then, like I said before, I'm going to start off with breakfast at the Cleef. So I'm going to call this, definitely good for 3 to 4 days, probably closer to 4 to 5 days. And if I need to, I can add on as I come through the first 2 areas before I do another resupply, but I can add on a little bit as I need to. All right, next what I want to show is I want to be able to show what I'm actually going to load out. Okay, so this is my fully loaded pack with the exception of water. So this has got the 6.5 pounds of food, and then it's got probably 2 pounds of medical and medication. It's got the smart water bottles that are empty, but no water. So now I want to weigh this. Remember, over 2 pounds is the wristbands that I had made. So I want to be able to show all this weight. This is what I'm going to have on my back as I start the northbound Pacific Crest Trail Hike 2026 on April the 8th. That didn't work. All right, I'm right around 27.1. So just a little over 27 pounds. So that makes me feel pretty good. So definitely under 28 pounds. Next thing I want to show, so I've got to get everything there. I'm flying from the East Coast to the West Coast. So you clearly can't bring everything on the plane. You know, and obviously that's a challenge with bringing some of the items. So what I did is I found this bag at the thrift store for like $10. So I'll have my trekking poles and I'll have all my gear in there. Now I've got to hand carry this as part of my hand carry. They don't want any lithium batteries inside, but I'm going to break this down and put it in the and put it in this carry bag. So I'll check this as my check luggage. Okay, so here's everything that's loaded into the bag. So this is what I'll check at the airport. I've got my my backpack and all my gear, my trekking poles, my pad, everything like that. And then this is what I'll be wearing and carrying. I've got a small bag that I'll be carrying, a little duffel bag or a little backpack. The red bag and this duffel bag are all going to be giveaway or throwaway at the airport. So as I'm picking up at the baggage claim, if I see someone that's waiting for their baggage, I'll offer to give them this red bag, and then if they want this this small backpack. So this is everything that I'm wearing. Some of it's cold weather gear, because when I start so in the morning at 2 o'clock in the morning, which is probably just a little bit over 12 hours from now, I'll start walking towards the bus stop, which is about 5 miles away. I'll get on the bus and I'll take the bus downtown to the metro, and I'll take the metro over to the airport. Hopefully I'll be to the airport by 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. My flight from here leaves early in the morning, like about 8:30. I have a layover in Houston, about an hour layover, so it's not much time. And then from Houston into San Diego. I should get into San Diego around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll catch the free San Diego flyer. I've already loaded up my my Metro card, my MTS card, so I've got all that set up. So I'll take the free shuttle over to the to Transit Center. I'll take a trolley from there to the El Cajon Transit Center, and at the El Cajon Transit Center, I'll catch the bus to Campo, which is about a 2-hour ride. So if all goes well, I'll be in Campo, California at the southern terminus in about 16 to 17 hours after I leave here. So I'll be a little tired. Hopefully I can get a little bit of sleep on the plane, but I'll be ready to start my hike on the 8th of April, early in the morning. All right, I'll be posting videos regular, so hopefully this is information that is value added to you, and you can like and subscribe and follow along. All right.